Hello, and welcome to the virtual public meeting with an in-person open house option for the FM 3248 project, also known as East Alton Gloor Blvd. My name is Kaylin Atanasio, the Public Involvement Specialist with NTEC Civil Engineers, and I will be presenting on behalf of the Texas Department of Transportation, or TxDOT. This presentation is pre-recorded. During the virtual meeting, you may pause the presentation and navigate forward or backward using your video player. We appreciate you taking the time to view the details of this project and welcome you to contact our project team if you have any questions. We are also interested in your comments on the project. Instructions for how to submit your comments and contact information for questions and comments is noted at the end of this pre-recorded presentation. November 7, 2000 was the last deathless day on roadways in Texas. That means for over 24 years, at least one person has died every single day. We all have a part to play to change that. This message is that reminder to end the streak of deaths on Texas highways. We need drivers and passengers to act more responsibly and help us reach our goal of 0 deaths by 2050. Texans can play a major role in ending fatal crashes with a few simple driving habits. Wear seatbelts, drive the speed limit, put away the phone and other distractions, and never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So please do your part and share this message with your friends and family. Virtual public meeting with an in-person open house option will include the following topics of discussion: the purpose of the public meeting, the project limits, the project need and purpose, a description of the proposed project, a description of the environmental studies being prepared, a description of the right-of-way acquisition process, the next steps in project development, and how to provide comments. The purpose of this virtual public meeting with an in-person open house option is to encourage and maintain effective communication with the public and provide project-specific information as it relates to the FM 3248 project in Cameron County, Texas. This presentation will provide information about the proposed preliminary design for FM 3248. At this meeting, TxDOT would like you to join the FM 3248 project through your participation in this meeting, learn about the project area and its needs, understand the proposed design for this project, engage by providing input on the design, and comment on the information provided at this meeting. Your input and comments are an important part of this process, and we encourage you to provide comments on this project. As I mentioned earlier, your continued participation throughout the planning and development of the project is very important. You are encouraged to talk to your neighbors and refer them to TxDOT so they can also make comments and be included in this process. TxDOT is proposing to add a travel lane, construct a raised median, and provide sidewalks for the section between I-69 East and FM 1847 along FM 3248, which is approximately 2.1 miles in Cameron County, Texas. The map shown on your screen shows the vicinity of the proposed project as the orange line. The proposed project is needed because FM 3248 has a high crash rate that is 40% higher than the statewide average for a comparable roadway, resulting in safety concerns. Is inadequate to meet current and future traffic demands, the existing roadway is severely congested and is only projected to get worse with an anticipated 158% increase in traffic volumes from 2021 to 2050. The purpose of the proposed FM 3248 project is to reduce congestion and improve mobility and safety. TxDOT has begun designing improvements to FM 3248 to reduce congestion and improve mobility and safety. There are several steps in developing this project before construction begins. The project engineers have collected and analyzed existing and future data and developed the preliminary design plans, which are available for viewing on the public meeting webpage. We are collecting feedback from the community and will use that feedback in conjunction with additional technical evaluations to refine the plans. The project will be evaluated for environmental impacts and compliance and will receive environmental clearance. The engineers will then develop final plans to be used for construction bidding, and TxDOT will put the project out for construction bids in January 2027. We anticipate construction to be completed within 2.5 years. The current cost estimate for total construction is $30 million. In conjunction with TxDOT analyzing future and existing conditions for FM 3248, the Texas A&M Transportation Institute, or TTI, performed a safety evaluation study within the FM 3248 project limits. The study found that the crash rates are higher than the statewide average for urban FM highways, as shown by the red line on the graph on the left of the screen. It identified that raised medians will help to reduce the high number of crashes. In addition, the project should investigate consolidating the driveways to improve safety. The study concluded that the implementation of these safety improvements will not impact the surrounding economy. So how do medians help improve safety? Medians reduce turning conflict points. Two examples of an intersection configuration are shown on the screen. The one on the left of the screen is the existing two-way left turn lane configuration on FM 3248. The one on the right of the screen is the proposed raised median configuration for FM 3248. Comparing the one shown on the left to the right shows that constructing raised medians will reduce the number of turning conflict points from 11 with the existing two-way left turn lane to just 2 by implementing the proposed raised medians. Cars turning left across traffic are at risk of collisions with through traffic in both directions. Medians also reduce crashes caused by head-on traffic and crossing traffic. The median creates a barrier for opposing directions of traffic and allows for a safer way to cross the road. Medians allow for protected left turns and help traffic flow by removing traffic from the through lanes. Longer protected left turn lanes will give cars waiting time to turn to a dedicated space, keeping those vehicles from stopping through traffic. The following videos show the safety concerns on the existing two-way left turn lane by showing examples of near-miss crashes on FM 3248. This video shows an example of an unprotected left-hand turn on FM 3248. Note the silver car tries to turn left as the black car in front of it makes a U-turn, nearly missing a collision. If there had been a median in place, the silver car would have needed to have waited for the black car to finish its turning movement before attempting to turn. This video shows an example of multiple potential head-on collisions on FM 3248. Note that multiple cars are coming out of driveways on both sides of the road trying to turn across FM 3248 at the same time, nearly missing multiple head-on collisions. If there had been a median in place, there would have been a barrier preventing the cars from turning straight across the roadway. The existing configuration for FM 3248 consists of two 12-foot wide travel lanes in each direction with 1.5 feet outside shoulders. Directions of travel are separated by a 14-foot two-way left turn lane. Bicycle and pedestrian facilities consist of 8-foot bike lanes with 6-foot sidewalks on either side. The existing right-of-way width is 120 feet throughout the length of the project. The proposed project would widen the roadway to a 6-lane divided highway with 3 12-foot wide travel lanes in each direction and 1.5 feet wide inside and outside shoulders. The proposed median is typically a maximum of 18 feet wide, narrowing down to 6 feet wide where 12-foot left turn lanes are proposed. 10-foot wide shared use paths are proposed in each direction. The proposed right-of-way width is 140 feet throughout the length of the project. The proposed project is anticipated to be programmed with both federal and state funds. Because of this, TxDOT is required to assess the potential environmental effects of the proposed project in accordance with federal standards. The process that is followed is called the National Environmental Policy Act process, otherwise known as NEPA. The NEPA process provides analyses of the potential impacts to the natural and man-made environment and helps the decision maker to make an informed decision on whether to proceed with the project. On December 9, 2019, TxDOT received a signed Memorandum of Understanding from the Federal Highway Administration that permits TxDOT to assume responsibility from the Federal Highway Administration for reviewing and approving certain assigned NEPA projects. This review and approval process applies to this project. Since the proposed project would utilize federal and state funds, it is required to adhere to NEPA. NEPA requires analysis of potential impacts to the human and natural environment as a result of the proposed project. As part of the environmental process, technical analyses will be completed to document the potential environmental impacts of the project. The resource categories studied may include, but are not limited to, biological resources, including threatened and endangered species and their habitats, water resources, including waters of the U.S. and wetlands, cultural resources, including historic and archaeological resources, hazardous materials, traffic noise, community resources, including environmental justice populations, air quality, resources protected under Section 4F of the Department of Transportation Act, Chapter 26 of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Code, and indirect and cumulative impacts. The project environmental constraints map is used to help planners and engineers determine the least impactful method to fulfill the purpose of the project. The full map can be viewed on the public meeting website. Practical efforts have been made in the design process to avoid impacts to both human and natural environments. When impacts are unavoidable, steps will be taken to first minimize impacts and then to mitigate for impacts. The preferred alternative, also known as the best fit alternative, was determined to have the least number of displacements in comparison to the left, right, and center alternatives, as shown on the table on the screen. TxDOT will follow the NEPA process, which will help to shape and refine the proposed preferred alternative to further minimize and mitigate impacts. Approximately 6 acres of new right-of-way would be required for the proposed improvements. The proposed project would potentially displace 3 residential and 5 commercial properties. The right-of-way acquisition process will follow federal and state laws and policies. The Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisitions Policy Act of 1970, known as the Uniform Act, is the federal law that is followed for appraisals, negotiations, and relocation of families and/or businesses. Hard copies of the right-of-way brochures and property owner's Bill of Rights will be available at the right-of-way table at the in-person open house public meeting and are also available at www.TxDOT.gov. TxDOT is the agency responsible for acquiring the additional right-of-way from the individual property owners for the project. TxDOT will ensure that the local public agency acquires all real property in accordance with the provisions of Title III of the Uniform Act and its associated federal regulations, 49 CFR Part 24. All negotiations for right-of-way conducted are subject to this law and these regulations. Relocation booklets, which provide a general overview of the Relocation Assistance Program and outlines the services offered and any payments for which displaced individual families, businesses, and nonprofit organizations may be eligible to receive, are available for download on the TxDOT website address listed. Information about the benefits, services, and right-of-way acquisition schedule can be obtained by calling Raymond Jimenez at the TxDOT District Office at 956-702-6287. Now that we have reviewed the project, I would like to highlight the estimated timeline for project completion. Look for the blue "We Are Here" arrow at the top left of your screen. After the comment period closes for this public meeting on February 28, 2024, the project team will evaluate the comments throughout the month of March. Based on the comments received and further design, the final schematic will be completed at the end of this year. Once the schematic design has been finalized, the project will obtain environmental clearance. Once the project receives environmental clearance, it will move into the final design in 2026 and ultimately construction by January 2027. TxDOT encourages you to review the materials regarding this project and provide feedback. Written comments from the public regarding the proposed project are requested and may be submitted via email to jorge.espinosa@txdot.gov or via mail by downloading and filling out a comment form available on the FM 3248 public meeting website and sending to the TxDOT FAR District Office to the attention of Jorge Espinosa at 600 West Interstate 2, FAR, Texas 78577. In addition, there is an option to fill out an online comment form through the public meeting website under the How to Make a Comment section, following the link shown on the screen or scanning the QR code to the right. All comments must be received on or before Wednesday, February 28, 2024. Responses to comments received will be available online at www.txdot.gov, keyword search FM 3248 East Alton Gloor Blvd, once they have been prepared. All information regarding the project can be found on the public meeting webpage that can be found by the link shown on the screen or by scanning the QR code on the right. Please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions. For further questions regarding project-specific information, contact the TxDOT Project Manager, Isaac Garza, at the TxDOT FAR District Office by phone at 956-702-6248 or email at isaac.garza@txdot.gov with any project questions or comments at any time during the project process. The information shared in this virtual meeting will continue to be available on our meeting webpage. We are interested in hearing any feedback you might have on the information presented and the proposed project plans. Submit your comments by mail, email, online, or in person. Your input will be evaluated in conjunction with the technical evaluations as we move forward with design. Responses to comments received by February 28, 2024 will be published with the virtual meeting report on the meeting webpage in the coming weeks. Thank you for your interest, and we look forward to hearing from you.